Hi there. Welcome to an introduction to using Makaton sign at Silverwood School. This is going to be a short session to introduce you to perhaps 45 signs that we use pretty much every day in the classroom settings around school. You might have already seen and learned some of them. Maybe you've had some training before, so some of them might be new. So it would be great if we could get to meet in real life, but if that's not possible, then hopefully this is one way that I can share that information with you. So we use Makaton signs to support what we're saying. So we're always speaking. We're just using a little bit of signing to help with some of the key concepts. So 1 or 2 signs per phrase. There's lots of things that are beautiful about signing that really enhance communication. One of them is that we naturally slow down the rate of our speech when we're thinking about what to sign next. So already that's a massive help for children who are struggling with processing information and have got other communication difficulties. So to speak slower, to say less, to use something visual to support the key elements of what we're saying can be really helpful for many of our youngsters. For many children, they might not use Makaton signs themselves for their own expressive language, but for nearly all of the children that we're supporting, it's helping their understanding, their comprehension of what we're saying, making things really visual. So I'll start with some greetings. They're all based on natural gestures. Some of them have come from British Sign Language and then been adapted to kind of perhaps make them a little bit simpler to create the signs. Some of it is just feels like the kind of gesture that you would automatically make as a human being. So hopefully it won't be too tricky. And like I say, there's probably many that you've already picked up along the way. So let's start with hello. So hello is just a whole hand, a swipe, hello. I'm right-handed, so if you're right-handed, you're going to be mirroring me. Doesn't matter which hand you use, whichever hand is your dominant hand is the one that you're likely to use most of the signs for. The important thing is consistency. So try and remember which way you do a sign and then always do it that way. That will be really helpful because what children are looking for and other people that we're communicating with are looking at the shape that you're making. So if we can try and keep that consistent, that's really helpful. So hello. To say goodbye, we save the kind of wavy wave hand shape to indicate goodbye. In reality, anything that we do with our hands to say hello or goodbye is going to work. A lot of what we're doing with signing is about engaging children, is about drawing them to us, giving them something to look at, to get their attention, because what we know about learning and relationship building is that before any of that can happen, we need to have attention, don't we? And so sometimes that's what we can be doing with our signing, is drawing children to us. So we'll carry on. Good morning. This is a good thumb. We kind of use that universally for good. So this is the concept of good, meaning great, brilliant, fabulous. We could do double thumbs if something's especially great. So although we're going to be using some of that rich vocabulary, all of the different words for good, we're going to keep the signing just the same, really simple. So children can hear all of those words and match it to a much simpler conceptual sign. Great. And in this instance, we're using good as part of good morning. Good morning. Perfect. And then at Silverwood School, we use good afternoon also. So we'll use the same thumbs up for good afternoon. Good afternoon. Lovely. Some of the key concepts that I'm really keen for us to kind of all have in our vocabulary are those that meet personal needs. So one of them is help. It's this hand shape, like a fist on a flat hand, lifting up, help. So this is a sign that we can move to say, can you come and help me? Do you want some help? So we can take it to the person who might be requesting help, or we could be using it to be asking for help ourselves, or to say, let's all help. Great. More. So this hand shape with a flat hand on the top, more. Great. And stop. Good. Toilet. This hand shape with your middle finger kind of identified just here discreetly, toilet. Great. Drink. So that's the noun, drink, but we can also use it for the verb, having a drink. Just a little bit more action turns it into a verb. So the noun, drink, having a drink, a little bit more. Great. A couple of question words, we tend to use these quite a lot. What? Index finger, what. So sort of facial expression is really important. We can also take this finger to the thing that we're talking about. Oh, what's that? Or oh, what's that up there? So we're taking children's attention along with the sign for what. Great. And then where? Flat hands, shoulders shrugging, looking around. Where? We sort of do that, don't we? Naturally anyway. Where? Good. A couple of other instruction words. To sit. Hand on top of hand, to sit. To sit. And again, we can use our placement to even demonstrate even more information about what we want to happen. So we can be saying, you're going to sit over here, and I'm going to sit here, and the cat is going to sit here. So we can show very explicitly with our signing where we want children to sit or who is going to be sitting where. Great. Wait. It's a difficult sign, to wait. So we've got stop, one hand, a bit more emphatic, and now wait. Good. Great. Okay. The sign for work. So we use this sign when it's something that's not child chosen. So if it's something that they need to come and sit down at the table and do something that we've asked them to do, we'll call that work, whether it's cutting and gluing or sticking or looking at a particular piece of work that they need to complete. We'll just say work. Perfect. And then play. So play spirals up. Play. Good. Lunch. This handshake for lunch. So this is for lunch if we're going to have cutlery. So if we're sitting at the table with a knife and fork, if that's appropriate, then we'll use this sign for lunch. So whether it's called lunch or dinner or tea, whatever that meal is called, we use this hand shape, lunch. Culturally, if we need to have a sign that is not about using cutlery, is all about having maybe a meal with using your hands, we'll use this hand shape for lunch or dinner. It's actually the sign for rice. So again, you can choose which is the most appropriate for the child that you're speaking with. Snack. We'll use this hand shape, which is like a little bunched up fingers together here. Snack. So that's actually the sign for food. So we'll use this for food and to eat with two little taps to turn it into a verb, to eat. But in this instance, we'll use it for snack time. Great, something that we're going to have that's not about using a knife and fork, something we're going to eat with our fingers properly, a snack. Great. Friend, two little shakes, friend. That's a nice sign, good. Please and thank you. This hand shape, please. Same hand shape but shorter, thank you. Thank you, good. Some family words. This is a sign for family. Index and middle on top of your other index and middle. That's actually finger spelling F, and we take that hand shape in a circle. Family. You might be asking, who is in your family? So that's another question word. We've had what, and we've had where, and now we've got who. Who is in your family? Some family words. Mummy. Mummy. So with those three fingers, which is actually finger spelling M, two taps, mummy. So that's the concept of mum, mother. So whether they're called mother or ma or mater or mummy, we use the same hand shape, but we say the words that's appropriate. Great. Daddy, that's finger spelling F. So daddy, father, pa, pappy, whatever they're known as, that same hand shape. Great. Brother, this hand shape with your thumbs up, brother. On the syllables, brother. Great. People think this is it is an old sign that comes from British Sign Language. People think that this comes from the friction of brothers fighting. So sometimes that can help to remember how to make the sign. Sister, with your index finger, two little taps, sister, on your nose. Sister. Sister. Lovely. Some more concepts. Sorry. Sorry. This hand shape in a circle. Sorry. Good. So we've talked a lot about good. So conversely, little finger up has negative connotations. So this is bad, naughty. We tend to see this in lots of other ways too. So two of them, arguing or fighting, battle, all of those kind of things. And then we'll also see it, 2 little fingers drawing down, to be unwell, to be poorly. So all the negative connotations tend to come from the little finger. Great. Boy, index finger under your chin, boy, boy. And girl, girl, 2 little strokes, girl. And man, man, got a short beard, man. And woman, woman. The sign for person, depending on what's appropriate. We've had lots of discussions in the Makaton community about the use of pronouns and gender choices. So the sign for person is with your thumb and your index finger pulling down, person. So we might use that to say they. If that's a preferred pronoun choice, we'll use the sign for person and say they. Great. Finished, finished. Good. To choose with your thumb and your index finger, to choose. What would you like to choose? Good. I want and I don't want. So the pronoun I is just an index finger pointing, I, and then you. Me, with 3 fingers pointing to yourself, me. We'll tend to use me and I with a 1 finger pointing. If we're reading, I and me are both high frequency words, so it's a really nice thing to match I and me to the words. But in spontaneous conversation, I and me, you can just use that interchangeably with 1 finger. That's absolutely fine. So in this instance, we're thinking about I want. So I want, a flat hand with a scoop coming from here. I want, I want. I don't want, I don't. So this swipe negates anything. So it means can't, didn't, not. All of those things, no. So in this instance, we're saying I don't want. Good. Okay. A few more concepts. To like. 2 taps here. To like. So just like we were talking before, I don't like. Good. Home, home, home. Actually the sign for house. It's a very iconic hand shape, house, which is easier in a way than the actual sign for home. It's just half a hand shape, but we tend to use this one for house and home interchangeably, just because it's kind of nice to make. Little children like to make that. So, but you can choose. If you think that house and home can be separated, then please do use them. Dog, dog. Good. All the sound effects you like would be great. Cat, cat. Bird, bird. Lovely. Tree, tree. Flower. School. Car. Bus. Everyone likes to drive a bus, just a little bit bigger. Perfect. Good. A couple of food choices. Biscuit. So quite tricky. So non-dominant hand crosses over. Dominant hand makes this hand shape. 2 taps. Biscuit. It's all about the motivation. Lots of children will learn to make an attempt at that sign. So it could be that they present with just this part of the sign, or that they just do this part of the sign, and we'll say, yes, biscuit, and we'll accept everything they offer us, and we will try and sign back as accurately as we can so that they can see a good representation of it. So, but yeah, quite tricky sign to do. But it's one of those ones that, because it happens perhaps, a couple of times a day, it's motivating, it's got meaning, it's the kind of sign that many children will pick up. Juice, so snack time juice, where they will have this hand shape with a dribble down, juice. Great. And then fruit, this same hand shape coming out, fruit. Great. So again, those are the kinds of vocabulary that we might be using every day in classrooms. So, so children oftentimes will begin to use some approximations of those signs themselves. Lovely. Okay. A little bit of emotional vocabulary. So I think we're really great at Silverwood School about checking in with children and how they are doing, and modelling how the variety of emotions look and the ways that we can regulate them, strategies to help children to switch between one emotional state and another. So one of the first things we can do around that is label emotions, make sure that children are exposed to the vocabulary and have beginning and understanding of maybe how, when we're explaining our emotions, that's something that can help them with their own understanding of theirs. So using signs and symbols to explain those emotions can be really helpful. So the sign for I feel, coming up the middle of your body, I feel. Great. So we might be asking the question, how are you? So flat hands, how are you? And then the answer might be, I feel, and then we can choose how we're feeling. So in this instance, we're going to do the sign for happy. So happy is sort of like a clap on the heel of your palm, happy. Some children might have learned from Mr. Tumble, who actually uses this sign for happy. So if they've used that sign, then please stick with that. That's absolutely perfect. That's great. Sad, with a thumb putting against drawing down your face, sad. So all of the kind of tone and slumped shoulders and the rest of the body language that would accompany that, sad. Good. Angry. Angry comes from the root of this hand shape, which is a clawed hand with a little bit of a shake. And that is actually the sign for pain. So we'll use that for physical pain, that hand shape, so we can kind of talk about, oh, my shoulder's hurting, or oh, you fell over and you hurt your knee, you take the pain sign to where it is. But in this instance, in anger, we have two of those hand shapes and it builds up, angry. Yeah, it's like emotional pain, angry. Good. Frightened, it's like a flutter, frightened, frightened. All the facial expression and the tone of voice really important and helpful too. Good. Excited, you can kind of feel it in your body, excited, good. Worried, so similarly to pain, we use this same hand shape in a circle just here, to be worried. It's like you've got something on your mind, it's going around and around. So we can also use it for nervous or anxious, those kind of feelings. So around mental ill health or worry. Another nice one that a lot of children will use for their own self-regulation is to calm down. So two hands, one on top of the other, drawing into yourself nice and slowly. So you can manage your breath, calm down. Let's all calm down. Can be really helpful. Good. Great. Couple of verbs. To go, very gestural, just using your index finger and just taking it where you want to go. To talk. So again, this is the concept of talking. So whether we're saying to say, to speak, to tell, all of those things, one finger coming from your mouth. Similarly, to see, coming from your eye, to see, and then the direction, of course, of what you're looking at is really important. A similar concept, but a different sign is look, which is with two fingers. Look, to look. And again, to see and to look are both high frequency words in literacy. So if you're reading with children, you can use the sign to see and to look to differentiate between those two words on the page. In spontaneous interaction, they're pretty interchangeable. Conceptually, they mean almost the same thing. So don't worry about which one you're using or if you're saying to see or to look. But it's more important that you're kind of using it to take children's attention with you. Great. Yes and no. Culturally, we've already got a really good yes and a smiley face and a nod, but we can match that with a little bit of a shake. Yes. Good. Surprising how many children actually really like that. Yes. Good. And then no, we've talked about already, so no. So just a swipe, no, and a head shake. Yeah, very good. No. There's no more biscuits. Great. And the last one I have for you on my list is teacher. Teacher. So on the syllables, teacher. Great. That was very good work. So I'm sorry that was really quite fast, but hopefully this will be a kind of a gentle introduction to some of the signs that we're using at Silverwood School. There will be another video all about the use of symbols and other strategies to support communication. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye and thanks for watching. Bye.